back to the channel, Foxbody Garage, guys. Today's installation, short block build, 5.0 Mustang. We got our main bearings here, we got our crankshaft, and we got our main caps. What I use is brake cleaner, non-chlorinated, lint-free paper towels. Right into it, guys. Hopefully everybody's having a good Sunday. Before I install or build any engine, like I stated previously, cleanliness is key. You gotta clean, guys. The cleaner, the better. As you can see, my hands are nice and clean today. No grease, no oil. Everything was prepped and cleaned the last video. So today, all we gotta do is install the main bearings, crankshaft, measure the crankshaft, and we'll go from there. What I do is very simple. I put a little brake clean on here and I wipe every new bearing out of the box. Every one. Okay, so we'll do that real quick. Might be a long drawn out video, but this is, how it's done. And we clean and wipe every bearing. First, we make sure there's no imperfections, no scores, no scratches. These are mild bearings, Molly, Mal, whatever you want to call them. I usually use King bearings or Clevite, but this is what they had in stock, and these are the race bearings. I believe I stated it before, and they didn't have the Clevite 77H series, so we went with these. Whoa, we don't want to drop the bearings, guys. That's a no-no. So let me clean all these bearings up real quick, and we'll go from there. And the faster we can get these bearings cleaned, the better. How are you today, son? My son decided to pop in while we're videoing. Say hello to the community.
Hi, Foxbody Garage fans.
Yep. How you doing? How's everybody going? Today we're going to learn how to build...
Is that a bearing?
This is a bearing. We're going to learn how to build the bearing. What bearing is it for? This is for the crankshaft bearing. You know what a crankshaft bearing is?
No.
Okay, this is a crankshaft. This is like the heart of the human body.
Okay.
Okay, without the crankshaft, nothing happens. So step one is we got to get the crankshaft installed, all right? So we're going to clean these bearings on both sides. Make sure they're dry and free from oil, guys. They got to be dry, free from oil, and free from the lint. Absolutely 100%. Because we're going to plastic gauge these. Okay, along with, we're going to mic them, which I do have a mic, and we're going to go from there. So, like I said, guys, it's going to be a long video. Don't forget to hit like, comment, subscribe if you want to know how to install a crankshaft and build a small block Ford 302. Stay around. If you don't, click to the next video, something that you might be looking for. But if you're looking to build a small block Ford 302 50 engine, stick around for this whole build series because it's going to be step by step and it's going to be a long video. So hopefully you guys learned something. If I could do it, you could do it. So that's step one. We wiped all the main bearings. Now we're going to go to the block over here. Hopefully you can see it. I don't know if you can. And we're going to do the same thing. Brake clean. And we're going to get new paper towel. Fold it up like this.
Okay.
Hit the saddles with some brake clean. Hit the saddles with brake clean. Hit the saddles with brake clean. Very simple. And then I fold it like this. And I just go like this. Whoop.
Can I do that?
Sure, you can help. But we can't leave no lint.
What does that mean?
Meaning, look, you see, you can't do it like that because you see what happens? You get that little bit of lint from the paper towels. We don't want lint. So we just want to wipe it like that. Okay? Because these are not lint-free paper towels, which I should be using, but I'm pretty much experienced enough to know about the lint and no lint. And then what I do is with my bare hand, I wipe it. I wipe all the saddles to make sure they're all free of lint or anything else. Okay? So now I know these are dry, clean, and ready for a bearing. You always want to put the bearing in dry. You don't want no oil, no debris, no lint, nothing behind the bearing. I don't know if you guys ever heard the term spun bearing. Well, we don't want to spin a bearing because there's oil or lint or some kind of MF, foreign material, underneath. So now once we do that, let's get the air blower.
Can I do that?
And we could just give it a little shot. And that's it. That takes care of that. Now we're going to get this an upper and a lower bearing. One has no slot, one has a slot. It's really easy and self-explanatory. If you put the one with no slot in the block, no oil comes through the holes. There's 2 holes here with the oil in. So we're going to put the one with the slot on the bottom. Like so.
Like that?
Yep. Boom. Put it in, and then what I do is I go back and forth from one side to the other. I don't know if the camera's picking it up.
Yeah, it is. I checked.
Okay. One side to the other. We take the other one. Saddle number 2. Also, let me know if you see there's a tang on the bearing. There's a little tit. It's called the tang. The tang on the bearing, and there's a tang on the saddle. The tang has to sit in the saddle. What I do is I put the tang part first, and then I push on the opposite side, and it locks in. Then I go on the other side, and I push back and forth to make sure it's seated nicely. That takes care of those, okay? We're going to do those real quick. That's 2. The tricky one is number 3. As you can see, number 3 bearing is different from the rest of them. Okay? You see the difference? Okay? This bearing and this bearing, you see the difference, right? This one has sides on it. Okay, this one don't. So this is the thrust bearing. This one goes on the number 3 journal, saddle, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to put it right there. Again, the tang has to be facing down into the tang on the saddle. So let's do that. Boom. Go that way, and then 1, 2. Beautiful. That's done. Let me install the other 2. As you guys know already, we give it the last swipe, last blow. Let's put this one in here. Boom. Left, right. Tang on this side. Right there. Push down. Boom. Okay? That takes care of that.
Why does number 3 look different than all?
Because number 3 is the thrust bearing, meaning the crankshaft walks front to back under load. There's a small clearance, tolerance, that the crankshaft does move side to side. And we're going to install the crank. Once again, the crank is ready to be installed. We will hit it with brake clean real quick, because we don't want any dirt, guys. Dirt is your enemy. The cleaner you can build it, the better off we are. And we just wipe them down. Just the shiny part, right? We're just wiping the shiny part. Try not to get, what are we trying not to do?
Get it dirty.
No, we're trying to keep the lint.
The lint's off.
From what? From the paper towel, right? We don't want no lint on the paper towel on the crankshaft journal. Okay? Once we do that, it's all wiped clean. This will be the last time you'll be able to check. So we're going to check all our oil and holes to make sure there's no debris in it. and I'll blow through every one, which I did about 10 times already, but like I said, clean, 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 guys. If we don't clean it and check it, because you're responsible. I don't care if you got your motor back from the machine shop and they said, oh yeah, everything's good, put it together, ba ba ba. You're the last guy to put your hands on this motor. You're the last guy that's responsible to check all the clearances, make sure everything is clean, everything is final washed. You're responsible. Whether you're doing it for somebody or you're doing it for yourself. You're the last guy. You can't say, oh, the machine shop did this. Well, why didn't you check the bearing clearance? Why didn't you check the side clearance? Why didn't you check the ring end gap? You're responsible. Don't say, oh, I put it together, the machine shop said it was good. I've heard stories. I've heard stories, guys. I've been around doing this for a long time. And this is probably the reason why I actually learned how to build motors. Is because I had a motor built, I don't want to say by who, by a very replica guy in New Jersey, and and it didn't work out. Let's put it that way. I ran the car for maybe a month and threw a rod bearing, and I had to rebuild the motor. I took the motor apart, bought a book by Tom Monroe. I'll show you guys, and I followed it, and then I've been building them since then. We don't want to slam the crankshaft down, okay? And we want to do it dry right now because we're going to plastic gauge it to make sure the bearing clearances are good. So, main bearings on the bottom. Now we got the crankshaft. We'll lay it in very gentle. Okay? Just give it a little twist, make sure it's seated. That's it. We're not spinning it like crazy. Now we move over to our main caps. As you notice, I always leave the bolts inside the main cap. I try to keep them organized and not mix-matched. Is it a big deal? I'm not sure, but that's how I like to do it, okay? So, and the main caps are numbered with arrows. Let me show you real quick. Main caps are numbered with arrows. So one, 2, 3, 4, obviously, with the arrow facing the front of the motor, which would be the timing chain is the front of the motor. Rear main seal will be the back, just to let you know, okay? All right, so once again, we hit it with a little brake clean. I prefer you to wear gloves. Brake clean is very toxic. Don't do what I do. Do what I'm telling you.
Brake.
So we got to clean everything. The saddle, everything. Clean them all up nice, even though they were washed. But look, I washed them, but they're still dirty. You see? So you can never be too clean, guys. Clean, clean, clean. So this main cap's probably been washed about 4 times already, and it's still got a little bit on it. Okay? Boom. Wipe it real clean, all sides, because we want everything dry. We're going to plastic gauge the motor for our bearing clearances right now. Look, dirty. Just when you think it's clean, it's always dirty. Remember that. You think it's clean, clean it again. Clean, clean, clean. I know it sounds silly, and I keep saying it, but that's the key to success of a nice, long-lasting engine to last. If you follow all these procedures, like I said, I built plenty of these motors, and so far we've been good. And we want to stay good. And this is basic tools. Like I said, if I could do it, anybody could do it. This ain't rocket scientists. You just got to be a little savvy in the mechanical, and you got to have a lot of patience and attention to detail, guys, because it's all little details. I mean, it's like I said, it's not the hardest thing to do. You want to rebuild your motor, follow along, we'll rebuild it one step at a time. I know there's a lot of videos out there, and I think A lot of them leave out all the little details because they don't want the videos to be long and drawn out. But you know what? This is going to be a video that shows you every step to building the motor. So stick around, hit the like, hit the comment, subscribe, share with your friends, help me out. We're trying to build the channel. We're trying to get some subscribers. We're trying to make things happen. And at the same time, in reality, it's basically all for you. For the guy who can't afford it to go to an expensive machine shop or race shop or whatever. And this build is the same way you build a 331, a 306, a 347, a 351, a 408, 418. These steps are all the same. Nothing changes. So that's what we're up against here. So that's what we're going to do. Stick around, guys. Stick around. Look, I don't know if anybody notices or has said anything, but I noticed when they put this cap on, which is the last main cap, put this cap on in the last main cap, you're supposed to put a dab of silicone on these corners. That's why a lot of people get leaks and they think it's the rear main and this and that, and it's coming right from the cap. Because this has silicone from the factory. This motor's never been apart, so that's how I know. And we have to clean that one up a little better, because like I said, we want clean, clean, clean. We just take a razor blade and get it as clean as possible, smooth as possible. We don't want to scratch it, we just want to remove that little bit of silicone they put there. Okay, yep, boom. Takes care of that, takes care of that. Okay, now they're all cleaned. We cleaned all our main bearing caps. Now we're going to do installation of the main bearing cap. Main bearing, once again, now I can show you better detail. Okay. Here's a tang. Can you see the tang? I don't know if you could see it. And here's the tang on the bearing. Stick the tang in here. Leave this side up a little bit and then push down. Boom. And then grab the other side and make sure it's seated flush on both sides. And that's how you do all the caps. Okay? And that's how you do all the main bearings in the block. Same way. So let me get to it. These were all clean. Everything is clean. Tang, boom. I know it's going to be a long video, but if you want to do it and you want to see how it's done step by step, that's what we got to do. So this is number 2. We'll put 2 here. This is number 4. We'll put 4 here. That's number 5. We're looking for number 3, which is here. Remember, 3 is the one with the side on it. What do they call it? I forgot. It's the thrust bearing. It's the one that doesn't look like every other one. Same thing with the block side. We still got to line up the tang. Okay, tang has got to go here. Boom. Push. Sometimes the thrust one fits a little tighter. You might have to hit it with a rubber mallet just to seat it perfect. I mean, not hit it, tap. You understand? Rubber mallet, just give it a little tap on that side, tap on that side, just to make sure it's in. And that seat's perfect. Boom. Now let's do the other 2. Okay. Last wipe with our fingers. Make sure there's no debris, no paper towel lint, nothing. On one side, push it down. I know I'm repeating over and over, guys, but if you want to learn how to do it and make the motor successful, keep watching. Okay, and the last one is going to be installed. Tang on this side. Boom. Boom. Okay. Okay, that takes care of that. Okay? Now we got everything good. What I like to do, I like to squirt a little oil in the bolt holes of the block, okay? Or you could use WD-40. I like to use oil because for the final installation, it's going to be oil. I don't use assembly lube when I assemble the engine because when I spin it, I want to feel if there's any drag or anything. With assembly lube, it tends to bind it up because the assembly lube takes up space. I want to feel how it's going to feel when there's engine oil lubricating the parts. And we will be putting this together pretty quick. If you're building an engine and you're going to let it sit for a year, then I recommend to put assembly lube because the assembly lube will stay longer. As you'll see as we go through the build, this can and me become best friends because I become the oil pump. As I spin the motor, I'm oiling the pin, I'm oiling the bores, I'm oiling everything. As like I'm the oil pump. Sounds crazy, but that's what I do, guys. So, okay. Now, we got cap 1. Main cap 2. Let's face them the right way so when we grab them. Okay? 1 with the arrow facing. 2, arrow facing. 3, arrow facing forward. 4, arrow facing forward. 5, only could go on one way. If you put this one on wrong, then you really shouldn't be doing this. Just saying. Okay, now that everything is clean, I want to put the crankshaft in a position where there's no holes facing up. So I turn it a little like that. Okay? So we could put the plastic gauge on each main journal and we could get a good reading, okay? Listen, I built a lot of motors, plastic gauge with the micrometers. If the plastic gauge reads right, you're good. It's not the most accurate, but it's pretty close and I've never had one fail. Last time we're going to be able to wipe these, so let's wipe them so when the plastic gauge gives you a good reading. Okay? Okay. Now, I don't know if you guys know what plastic gauge is. I'm sure some of you have an idea and some of you don't for the new people or for whoever just stumbled across this channel for this video in particular. But plastic gauge is a piece of wax that squishes, okay? And the green one reads from 1 to 3 thousandths. So I prefer the green because I'm looking for 2 thousandths, 2.5, between 1.5 and 2.5 would be perfect for a street motor. If you're building a race car, you probably want like 3 thousandths, but we're building an everyday, daily hot rod that we can run and drive and not worry about anything and get a lot of mileage out of it. So what I do is I measure the width, complete width of the journal so I know how much to cut because I want to see the complete squish. I'll explain it to you more as we go, but I want to see the complete squish. So we got 1. How many do we need? How many pieces we need? 1, 2, 3, 4.
What about that one?
5. Good boy. 5. So 1, 2, 3.
What is that going to do?
You're going to see now, buddy. 4.
The price tag.
5. Okay? Put this back because we're going to need that for the rods. Now we open it up and we get the little piece of wax out of it.
Oh.
You're going to see now, bud. It's going to be a little piece of green wax in here. You see that? That's a total fail. That's not going to work. Let's say, did they send us beat plastic gauge? That's a problem too. I hope not. Because then we're done. Okay, here it is. You see the wax?
Yeah.
We take the wax and we put a piece.
Did you just drop it?
I dropped it because this is beat plastic gauge.
So why using it?
So this wax is so brittle that it's not even, you can't even handle it. That's the problem,
Where are you
guys.
gonna get wax from?
That is a problem. So let's try it again.
Brittle.
Yep. We don't want it brittle. Okay, that piece is good. So we're going to put that right in the middle like that. Boom. Don't touch it. Don't spin it. Don't do nothing. So that's one.
That's how it works.
Let's take the next piece. That looks pretty good. Okay. Take that one. We're going to put it right in the middle too. Beautiful. Don't touch it. Don't breathe on it. Don't blow on it. Don't do nothing. Let's take another piece.
Your plastic gauge wax, is that what it's called?
It's a measuring device made of wax. Yep. I try to keep it right in the center and straight as possible, so when we squish it, it gives us the perfect reading. Okay, that's two. Let's see how this one is. That's good. We got a little piece of paper towel. We don't want that. Lint. Yep. So we'll put that one like there. Make sure it's straight. Okay, and we need one more because one piece was bogus. We don't like bogus pieces.
See if this one is good.
Okay. Bear with me, guys. This is all done live. This is how you do it.
Is there a good piece in there?
And that's a good piece. You see how this one bends a little bit? That means it's good. The other piece was brittle. If it's brittle, it doesn't give us the right thing. Got a buddy of mine who's showing up in the middle of the video. What's up, Ray?
What's up, guys?
How you doing? We're
Okay.
live. Yep, we're live. We're doing how to build your small block Ford. Cap 1, facing forward. Like I said, we missed one step, guys, right? What did I say?
Oil.
We want to oil the threads. That's it, a little drop of oil. Just to make the threads lube. And the reason why I'm doing it on the threads and not the bolt is because when I do it, I don't want the oil to get on top of the crankshaft. And when you put the caps, if you oil the bolt right now, all the oil's going to drip. So we don't want to do that. Okay, number 1. Arrow facing forward. Slide it on. Screw it down. Now we don't want the bolt to draw the cap in because you could crack it. What I do is I give it a tap. Boom. And then we draw the bolts down. If you go to draw the bolts down, you can crack the cap. We don't want that. So I get it started with the bolts. And then to seat the cap, I give it a tap. Boom. We don't want to do it with the bolts. If we draw it down with the bolts, you chance the risk of cracking the cap. You crack the cap and you had a bad day, guys. So stick around and I'll learn you. 3, facing forward, arrow, start the bolt, rubber mallet, tap. That's it. Done. hopefully now everything's going to work out. Let's see what the torque specs are going to be. I think it's 75. I'm not 100% sure. We're going to go and look in the book. These are not ARP bolts. These are stock bolts. So we're just going to stock specs. Okay? And like I said, I believe it's 75 foot-pounds. We're going to do it in 3 stages. We're not going 75 all at once. We have a problem.
What's the problem?
This bolt don't want to go down too good.
So hit it. Hit your rubber.
No.
Can you switch bolts?
No. We gotta see why this bolt don't go down good. Okay. Goes in perfect. So now we know why the bolt doesn't go down. Because the cap needs to be smacked down in position. So we'll just get it hand started. And let's give it a little tap. And that should take care of that. This one don't want to go down. Is it seated? No, it's not. That's why. It is not seated, fellas. There, you hear the pop? When you hear the pop, you know it's seated. And now look. See? Beautiful. Excellent. That's good. Now you guys see what happens. That's why you don't put the caps and tighten it down to draw the cap down, because that's how you break the cap. Perfect example. Love it. Let's get the size for this.
Are you using that?
Let's see.
That looks like the sock.
Okay, we're going to use a 3/4. And we're going to get our torque wrench. Torque wrenches are made to torque. They're not made to take bolts off. Never use a torque wrench to take bolts off. You ruin them. This is a snap-on torque wrench. And I only use it for this process. That's it. I only use it for the main caps. I never use it for anything else. And only to torque bolts. Never to unbrake them or loosen them. Okay? Tech tip. Just to let you know. I paid a lot of money for it, and the only reason why I did is for this reason. Engine building needs precision tools. You gotta have the good tools. Can you go to Harbor Freight and buy a tool? Yeah. Would I trust it building an engine? No. Sorry. That's just me. So, let's get that going. Where is it? Where is it?
What are you looking for?
Where is it? Here it is. We have the little adapter.
Spray.
If you treat your tools well, guys, your tools will treat you well. Let's see if we can get this out. Where are you, my friend? Let's see. Is Harbor Freight good tools? Yeah, Harbor Freight is good tools for your everyday mechanic and stuff like that, or your hobbyists like myself, yes. For engine building, would I use their torque wrench? No. Sorry. Okay, so we're going to start at, we're going to go to 50. Okay, 50. Now we're going to do it in a crisscross pattern. I don't know if it's not a crisscross. What I do is, I start from the middle. I go 1 over here. Until it snugs up a little bit. Let's take off the oil pump bolt
I thought that was
for the
part of
pickup.
the-
The This is the oil pump pickup bolt, okay? And we're just gonna work them down a little by little until they drag.
How do you know when it gets...
Once we get a little tension on the torque wrench. See how it's so easy? And then look, see now we got a little tension? Boom. And we're just gonna do a little tension, little tension, little tension, little tension, little tension. Now we'll go and do that to 1, 2 on 3, and then we're gonna go to 2 and do the same thing before we even go near 50 pounds. Just until you get a little tension. Boom. Once you feel it, now we're going to go to 4. So we went 3, 2, 4. Little tension. Little tension. Then we're going to move over to 1. Little tension. Little tension. I've seen guys do it with impacts and this and that. I got no problem with feeling every stroke. Little tension, little tension. Now we go to the back, which is 5. Little tension, little tension. Alright, so now I know they're all little tense. They got all the little drag. So now we're going to do 50. Start. 50. 50. Then we go to 2. 50. Then we go to 2. 50. Then we go to 4. 50. Then we go to 4. 50. Then we go to 1. 50. Then we go to 1. 50. Then we go to 5. 50. Then we go to 5. 50. Okay?
Why does this one look...
Now we're going to go to 65.
Why does...
65.
Why does that one look like...
65. 65. Okay?
Hey, Dad.
Let's make sure that we're doing the proper torque sequence. Let's check our book. We have it ready and handy. I'm pretty sure we do. 1 second, Sal. We don't want to make sure we're doing this wrong. I believe it's 75, but let me double check. Let's check on the phone. I don't know where my manual is. Let's see.
I'm gonna cut out some. You hear me?
Small block Ford main torque specs. Let's see what we got. Okay. Main caps. 60 to 70. So we're doing 65. Okay? I'm happy with 65. Boom. Then we go to 2. Boom. Then we go to 2. Boom. And we go to 4. Boom. And we go to 4. Then we go to 1. Boom. We go to 1. Boom. And we go to 5. Boom. And we go to 5. Boom. That's perfect. It says 60 to 70. I went 65.
Dad, why do
I'm happy with that. We're going to do it again.
why does this one look like that?
Okay. Boom. Double check them. Boom. 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 I don't know if you guys hear it clicking, but boom.
It's pretty loud. I think they should
Boom.
do it.
Boom. Perfect.
Can you answer my
Okay.
question?
So now we're going to loosen them up, see what the plastic gauge reads, and go from there.
Why does this one look like that?
That because the oil pump pickup tube goes there. So now what we're going to do is we're not going to use the torque wrench to break them apart. So the problem is now it's going to be very hard because the torque wrench has got a big leverage to torque them. So now we're going to have to get our ratchet and we're going to have to get a breaker bar because I'm not that strong. So let's get a breaker bar. Where are you? Where's the jack handle and the breaker bar? Where is it? Where is the breaker bar? I know we had one. We're going to need it. I'm not going to be able to do it without it. So we'll have to get another breaker bar. No, we don't. Here's Old Faithful right here. Put it in here. And let's take them out. And we're going to take them out the same sequence that we torqued them. One, start with number 3 in the middle. Boom, boom, boom. Number 3 in the middle. Take it off. Little at a time. You don't want to screw anything up. Little at a time. Little at a time. That's loose. Then we start with 2. The same sequence that we did. Little at a time. That's good. Then we go back to 4. Little at a time. Then we go to 1. Little at a time. Little at a time. Then we go to 5. Little at a time. Okay, now we don't need this no more, but this is your friend. You need one of those. Like I said, I spent a lot of money on my torque wrench. It's probably the most expensive tool I own, and the only tool I think is worth the money if you want precise torque specs. Okay, now we could just break them. See how they come off easy? Okay, beautiful. Two, 4, 1, 5. Okay? Now what I do is, they're all loose. I unscrew them. Okay? I take the rubber mallet, I hold it, and I tap on one side. Boom. And I already could tell that this is going to be a perfect, because I did so many of these. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but that plastic gauge mark, you see how uniform it is and straight, and it's not like thin and then wide. It's all nicely perfect, straight, squished, perfect. Then what we could do, we take the plastic gauge itself. It has numbers on it. Okay? And we're going to go for the side that says 1.5, 2/1000, 3/1000. And we're gonna put it up against our plasti gauge mark. And we're gonna say that is a little on the tight side. I would say 1.5 So it's at the 0015 mark, which I believe is 1.5. And from my experience and all the motors I've built, that's perfect. For plastic gauge method, that is perfect. So that's good for that one. Now let's see if the other one is good. And they all look like that. And if they are, I'm going to be very happy. Like I said, you hold it, one little tap, pull it up, and bingo. And that one is going to be good too. Okay, I'll give you guys a view. Let's see, where is it? What side is it? It's right there. Yep, that's even a little better. It's almost 2, a little bigger than 2. I don't know if you see it. So, that's another one, perfect. So it looks like the bearing and the crankshafts, the crankshaft journal and the bearing journal are the same, and it's going to be perfect. Let's check number 3. And that's what I want to see. Another beautiful marking. And that is also 1.5. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, guys, but we got perfect even squish. That tells me that the crankshaft is nice and flat. The cap is nice, everything is nice. There's no like bad reading or anything like that. Like one side of the plastic gauge is thick, one side of the plastic gauge is thin. That means that either the bearing or the crank or the cap or something is tapered and not perfect, which we don't want. And that one is perfect too. I like it. We're doing very well. So that's how you install the crankshaft and the plastic gauge. We got one more. I wouldn't think it was going to have a problem due to the crank not being cut and the caps not being line honed or anything like that. This one was a pain in the ass to get on. It's going to be a pain in the ass to get off. But we want to get it off without screwing up the plastic gauge, and that is perfect too. And that is perfect too. So everything looks good. We can proceed with the crankshaft installation. I'll take you off the tripod real quick. Give you guys a look at the crankshaft. Hopefully you guys get a better view of it. I don't know if you guys are picking it up, but as you can see, all the plastic gauge is evenly squished and in perfect condition, and it all shows 1.5. So we're doing well. So far, so good. So that's the plastic gauge method. As you can see, all the caps turned out well. So now what we're gonna do, let me put you back over here. Sorry for the camera work. You know, the camera work is not the best on this channel, guys. There's my son back in the picture, which is great. I love him. He's a good boy. Okay.
Raymond left, by the way.
Okay, so now what I need to do is we got to get paper towel, brake clean.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely. Because we don't even want this wax in our motor. So we got to clean all the wax off this brake, off this bearing cap. Otherwise, it's going to be a problem. Okay. On each journal. Okay.
How long has this video been? It's been like a while. 20, 30 minutes.
We don't want none of this on our bearings. And if it don't come off like this, we're gonna get a Scotch-Brite. And we're gonna Scotch-Brite it off. Because as I see, I'm wiping these bearings, we could still see it, which is a first for me. That brake clean is not wiping it off. I must say. So we're gonna Scotch-Brite those again, and let's get this off. Yeah, see, it came off here nicely.
Is that your favorite thing to use? Brake clean? Brake clean?
Well, that's the stuff that gets it off.
Well, what does this do? This thing that makes it work?
That's paint stuff.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, let's not spray that.
That's why it has the thing that it like makes noise like this.
Yep. It's called a rattle can spray paint. You know why it's called rattle can spray paint?
Because when you shake it, the little ball thing.
That's right, it rattles. That's why it's called rattle can spray paint. Okay, so now we're going to find a little Scotch-Brite. Let's see if we have a little Scotch-Brite pad. And we do. Okay, I like to use the gray one. It's not as abrasive as the green. The green is rough. So we're just going to cut a little piece of this. Like so. I appreciate everybody hanging out with me. If you stuck around this far, you know the proper technique to install a crankshaft, that's for sure. And plasti gauge it. So we're going to take that and we're just going to give it a little wipe. Because like I said, we don't want that on our motor. We don't want that in our motor. That's for sure. Takes care of that. Takes care of that. And so on and so forth, guys. I know This is where attention to detail, right here. Some people leave that plastic gauge on there, the wax gets in the oil pump, gets stuck in the galleys, and now you got oiling issues and all that kind of stuff. Okay? So that's why we go the extra mile, to make sure everything is clean. It's gotta be clean. It's gotta be clean, guys. And the Scotch-Brite is not going to hurt the bearing. It's not going to take material off. I mean, you really have to go crazy. I know a few engine builders, they Scotch-Brite all their bearings anyway for that extra clearance. Like our clearance was 1.5 thousandths with the plastic gauge. So you Scotch-Brite it. It might help you out a little bit, but that's not why we want to get that plastic gauge out of there. Because if we don't, it's going to be a problem. We don't want problems. Okay, that takes care of that. That takes care of that. Get that off. Little brake clean here. That's beautiful. Give this one a little work too. That's beautiful. The Scotch-Brite is not going to hurt the crankshaft, guys. Especially the gray one. The gray one is like 2000 sandpaper. When you paint cars and stuff, they scuffle with a gray Scotch-Brite most of the time. I just don't want to leave any of that stuff in here because I don't want no problems with the oil. Okay, that's beautiful. A little spot there, a little spot here, and the last one back here. So that's how you install and check your crankshaft, and detailed step by step. And that's how I've been doing it and never had an issue. So now we're going to remove the crankshaft. We're going to lay it down over here. Hopefully we don't break my phone. Okay.
What's that?
And we're going to clean the bearings again. Okay, and we're going to clean the bearings with brake clean again. And we're going to spray all the journals on the crankshaft. Because we don't want to get none, some of that stuff from the Scotch-Brite might leave a little residue or whatever. We're trying not to. Whoa. We're trying to keep it as clean as possible, guys. Clean and dry for now. And then we're going to oil it up. And like I said before, we are not going to use assembly lube. I prefer oil, because when I put it in and I spin it, I need it to feel how it spins, so I'm happy. If I feel a light drag, that means something could be wrong, and I don't like that. Even though I believe there's a torque spec that when the engine is built, the short block, there's a torque spec that there's a certain amount of inertia that you could do a test with your torque wrench. It's supposed to spin without clicking 30 pounds, I believe. I believe that's it, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. I've done it, but that takes care of that. Make sure we clean everything all over again. Especially we hit it with a Scotch-Brite. Nice. And now we can oil everything up. We're going to clean all the journals again on the crankshaft. And I'm going to show you the paper towel, just when we thought everything was clean, what the paper towel looks like. And I believe that's part of the coating they use on the bearing. You see that paper towel? It was clean, right? Now it's dirty. So, just when you think you got it clean, clean it again. Now what we'll do is we'll take a clean paper towel and we'll just wipe the saddles and check it, just to make sure it's clean. Okay, everything is clean, bearings are clean, everything's good. Perfect. We'll do the same here. Okay, that's good. That's good. So you understand how many times I cleaned this already? That's how I do it. I don't know, people might say I'm crazy. You might be able to put it together without cleaning it like I do. I don't want to take no chances. Okay, now we'll take a little oil and we'll put it on here. We don't have to be so neat with it, but we don't want to put it on the top where the caps sit. That's for sure. Okay?
Audio device disconnected.
Okay, put a little oil on the crankshaft when we get it in. And we should have this crankshaft final installed, guys, final. There will be no more cleaning, and that would be it. Okay, one thing we're gonna have to do is lift it up. This is a baby crankshaft. Give it a little twist. Beautiful. Let's see if we can get a little silicone going. We need a little silicone for the main cap. I like to use a little ultra gray if we have. If we don't, we use what we got. If we don't, we're going to use what we got. Let's see if we could use this here. This is, yep, it's blue. It's all right. We're going to take a little dab on our finger. A little dab on our finger, and we're just going to coat the back of this like that. That's it. That's all you need. If you don't do it, it leaks eventually. Don't go crazy, just a little. Take out the imperfection that's machined into the cap, I guess. That's why they do it. And this way you don't have a rear main seal leak either. Okay, so that's good. Now we're going to oil all the mains. Like that. Like that. like that. And we can put these in here. We're gonna start with number one, alright guys? Number one. Numero uno. Little oil here. We put oil here so we don't put nothing on the cap. Facing forward. And we give it a little tappity tap. Boom. Now what I do is I do put oil on the bolts. On the shoulder and the bolt. Okay, that's one. This is two. Two with the arrow facing forward. Can't screw that up. And then we put a little oil on the bolts. And like I said, I like to do with oil because that's how the motor's going to run with oil, so the torque spec should be legit. Okay. And then number three, arrow facing forward, tap, 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 oil on number three, the shoulder, the threads, nice, nice, keeps everything happy, nice, nice. Some people say it might be overkill how I do it. You might have a better way of doing it, but this is how I do it. And I have yet to have a problem. That's it. Same process. Oil on the shoulder, oil on the threads. Oil on the shoulder, oil on the threads. And the last Mohegan has the little bit of silicone. Where'd you go? I lost it. I didn't lose it, I threw her on the floor. I'll take a little dab also here and put it on the back of the block here. Right on the corner where the saddle sits, you gotta put a little there. Otherwise, I mean a dab, guys, we're not going crazy. Right in the saddle there. If you don't put it, and you got a mysterious rear main seal leak, and you change the seal 30 times, you'll know why. Okay, that takes care of that. Let's put this bad boy in here. That's beautiful. Oil on the threads. Oil on the shoulder. Oil on the threads. Oil on the shoulder. And we gotta seat that again. Let's see if we can turn it nice, beautiful. That's good on that side, and that's good on that side. And now the bolts go down easy. There we go. Take our regular ratchet for now, and we'll spin them down. And that's how you install a crankshaft. That's how I install a crankshaft. Everybody might have a different method. I don't. That's how I do it. And it seems to work fine for me. And hopefully it's going to work fine for you if you guys are doing this. I know the video is pretty long, and for those of you who stuck around to watch it, please hit the like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, Anything I could do better, explain it better, or did I do something that you disagree with? That's fine also. That's what YouTube was originally about. Helping one another, right? You needed to know something, you went to YouTube, and that's how it is. So hopefully this video helps somebody. That cap is not seated, that's why it's so hard. There you go. There you go. See, if the cap is not seated, you will have a problem. The bolts will not run down by hand if the cap is not seated properly. And if you can't run the cap down by hand, then we got a problem. And we don't want a problem. Okay. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Let's get this one down a little bit. That's good. That's good. Okay. Okay, now back to our torque sequence. So we know it's 65-70, we're going to do 50 again. 50 again. Little at a time, same procedure. Little at a time. Boom, boom. I always start from the top. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom. That's 50. See how she spins? Like butter. What we want to feel. That's why I don't use assembly lube. Understand? 50 pounds. Beautiful. Okay? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the rubber mallet and I'm going to hit the front, the back, the front, the back. That's to seat the thrust bearing. And let's see how she spins. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Now let's go to 60. 60. Boom. 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 Okay, that was 60, no problem. We're going to check the spinach again. Feels good. No problems at all, very smooth. Spins freely, very nice. So let's give it that extra 5. 65. boom, 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 boom. So that's 65. The book says 60 to 70. Go to 70. Boom. 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 70. All good in the hood. Spins freely still. No drag at all. And once again, I become the oil pump. Boom. 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 I like saying boom, huh guys? Okay. That's it. Crankshaft is installed. Now, let's do a quick and dirty thrust bearing check. Now we need to know the thrust bearing clearance. And hopefully, it's going to be between 4 and 8 thousandths or 3 and 10 thousandths or something like that. So let me get a 4 thousandths feel gauge. We could do it this way, and we could do it with a whatchamacallit, a dial indicator. But we're gonna do it dirty this way, and then we'll put the dial indicator on. Just before we go any further. So we're gonna go right here on the side. That's good. The reason why I like the feeler gauge is because I could go around to both sides of the bearing. That's good. That's good. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to pry it one way and check it, and pry it the other way with a dial indicator. Let's see how this works out for us. Just a basic dial indicator, nothing special, on a base. There we go. Because I want to be sure that we're good. So let's see if we can loosen this up a little bit. I think it was set up for something else. I know this is a long video, guys, but this is what you got to do. Let's take this, put it right there. That's the magnet. Boom. Let's make sure we can get a good picture of it. Okay, let's see. What we got? Come on. Let's zero this out. Okay, now we're gonna get a pry bar. We're gonna pry on the crankshaft or a big screwdriver and see what we get. That way. Come on. Oh yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. 5 that way. Back to 0. 5 that way. Back to 0. Alright, we're good. We got about 5 thousandths here. Let me set this up a little better. Oh, I'll give you guys some view of it. Okay. Do it again. Okay, let's go here. One, two, three, four, 5. Come on. Why is this fighting me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Okay, good. I'm gonna zero this one out. Let's do it again before I show you. That way. That way. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Okay, so we got about 4 to 5 thousandths. Yep. Boom. Yep. Boom. Okay. I'll give you guys a quick look. Thanks for sticking around. Hopefully this video helps somebody. Let's see if we can get around this engine. Camera work sucks as usual. Can you guys see the dial indicator? Let's see. Of course there's going to be a glare, right? I don't know if you guys are picking it up, but it's at 0 right now. And we push it this way and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We go back this way, 0, back this way, 5, back this way, 0, back this way, 5, 0, 5, 0, 5. All right, sounds good? All right, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. You learned how to install the crankshaft. That's going to be it for today. Crankshaft is officially installed. Never going to take it out again unless when we do the connecting rods and stuff like that and something doesn't turn out right. But until then, guys, don't forget to hit the like, comment, subscribe with your friends, share, give it a thumbs up, help me out. Took a lot of time to do this video to show the person who's going to do this at home and with basic hand tools. If I could do it, you could do it. So until the next time, guys, thumbs up. Peace.